Are you tired of being tired? Do you find yourself waking up multiple times a night, stumbling to the bathroom, only to crawl back into bed feeling more awake than before? This constant interruption, this cycle of broken sleep, is not just annoying, it's exhausting. You wake up feeling groggy, unrested, and maybe even a little grumpy. If this sounds like your nightly routine, you're not alone. And I am here to tell you that a full night of uninterrupted sleep is even just a dream. It's something you can achieve. Stick around, because we're going to dive into why this happens and what you can do to reclaim your nights. So, what is actually going on inside our bodies when we have to get up to pee at night? The medical term for this is Nocturia, and it's more common than you might think. Let's break it down. Imagine your bladder is like a small, flexible balloon. During the day, it fills with urine produced by your kidneys, and when it's full, it sends a signal to your brain that it's time to go. Normally, while you sleep, your body produces less urine, and the urine it does make is more concentrated. This allows most of us to sleep for 6 to 8 hours without needing a bathroom break. However, for some people, this system gets a little out of sync. There are a few common reasons why. The most straightforward one is simply drinking too much fluid, especially close to bedtime. That evening cup of tea, a large glass of water, or even alcohol can fill your bladder up just as you're trying to wind down. Alcohol and caffeine are also diuretics, which means they actively make your kidneys produce more urine, making the problem even worse. Another factor is age. As we get older, our bodies naturally produce less of a hormone called antidiuretic hormone, or a DH. This is the hormone that tells your kidneys to slow down urine production at night. With less ADH, your kidneys keep working at a daytime pace, filling your bladder more quickly. Also, the bladder muscle itself can become less elastic with age, meaning it can't hold as much urine as it used to. So, even a smaller amount of urine can trigger that urgent need to go. But it's not always just about simple things like fluid intake or aging. Sometimes, frequent nighttime urination can be a sign of an underlying health condition. For example, conditions like a urinary tract infection or you can irritate the bladder and create a constant feeling of needing to urinate, day and night. For men, an enlarged prostate, a condition called benign prostatic hyperplasia or BPH, can press on the bladder and block the flow of urine, preventing the bladder from emptying completely. This means it fills up again much faster. Other health issues can also play a role. Sleep apnea, a condition where you repeatedly stop and start breathing during sleep, can trigger the release of a hormone that increases urine production. Uncontrolled diabetes is another major cause. When your blood sugar is high, your kidneys work overtime to filter it out, pulling extra water with it and leading to more urine. Even heart conditions can contribute. When you lie down, fluid that has accumulated in your legs during the day, a condition called edema, re-enter your bloodstream and be filtered by the kidneys, leading to a full bladder overnight. So, you see, it's a bit more complex than just, I drank too much water. It's a combination of your habits, your body's natural changes, and potentially, your overall health. Understanding these potential causes is the first and most important step toward finding a solution that works for you. Now that we know the why, let's talk about the what to do. Alright, let's get into the practical solutions. The good news is that for many people, simple lifestyle changes can make a world of difference. Let's start with the most obvious one. Managing your fluid intake. I'm not saying you need to dehydrate yourself, but it's about being strategic. Try to drink most of your fluids during the day and start tapering off in the evening. As a general rule, stop drinking large amounts of anything about 2 to 3 hours before you plan to go to sleep. A few sips of water if you're thirsty or need to take medication is fine, but avoid chugging a big glass right before bed. And remember what we said about diuretics? Pay close attention to caffeine and alcohol. That afternoon coffee or that evening glass of wine could be the culprit. Try cutting them out, especially in the 6 hours before bedtime, and see if it helps. You might be surprised by the impact. Instead, if you enjoy a warm drink in the evening, maybe opt for a caffeine-free herbal tea like chamomile or peppermint. Next up, let's talk about your diet. What you eat can also affect your bladder. Salty foods can make you thirsty, causing you to drink more. But beyond that, when you consume a lot of salt, your body works to flush it out with water, which again means more urine. Try to be mindful of your salt intake throughout the day, especially with your dinner. Similarly, spicy foods and artificial sweeteners can sometimes irritate the bladder lining for some people. increasing urinary frequency and urgency. It might be worth keeping a simple food and drink diary for a week to see if you can spot any patterns between what you consume and how many times you wake up. Let's move on to your bladder habits during the day. This might sound a bit strange, but you can actually train your bladder. If you're someone who goes to the bathroom just in case all the time, you might be teaching your bladder to signal you when it's only partially full. Try to gradually increase the time between bathroom breaks during the day. This can help strengthen your bladder and increase its capacity over time. Also, make sure you're emptying your bladder completely each time you go. Sometimes, rushing can leave urine behind, which means your bladder will fill up again sooner. A helpful technique is called double voiding. After you finish urinating, wait for about 20 to 30 seconds, and then try to go again. This can be especially useful for men with an enlarged prostate or anyone who feels they do fully empty their bladder. Another fantastic tip is to elevate your legs for an hour or so before you go to bed. If you have swelling in your ankles or lower legs, propping your feet up on a pillow or a recliner helps that trapped fluid move back into your bloodstream earlier in the evening. This gives your kidneys a chance to process it and allows you to empty your bladder before you get into bed for the night, rather than in the middle of it. Finally, think about your sleep environment and routine. A good night's sleep is about more than just your bladder. Make sure your bedroom is dark, quiet, and cool. Avoid screens like your phone or TV for at least an hour before bed. A relaxing bedtime routine like reading a book, gentle stretching, or meditation can help you fall asleep faster and sleep more deeply, making you less likely to be woken by a gentle urge from your bladder. Now, we've covered a lot of lifestyle adjustments, and for many, these will begin. But it's crucial to know when it's time to seek professional medical advice. If you've tried these tips for a few weeks, and you're still waking up 2 or more times a night, it's a good idea to talk to your doctor. You should also see a doctor if your nocturia starts suddenly, if it's accompanied by other symptoms like pain, burning, fever, or blood in your urine, or if it's seriously impacting your quality of life. Your doctor can help you figure out if there's an underlying medical condition causing the problem. They'll likely ask you a lot of questions about your symptoms, your lifestyle, and your medical history. They might ask you to keep a bladder diary for a few days, tracking what you drink, how often you go to the bathroom, and how much urine you produce. This information is incredibly valuable for diagnoses. They may also run some simple tests, like a urine analysis to check for infection or a blood test to check your kidney function and blood sugar levels. Depending on the cause, your doctor can recommend specific treatments. This could be medication to help relax the bladder muscle, reduce the symptoms of an enlarged prostate, or a drug that mimics that hormone to reduce nighttime urine production. If sleep apnea is suspected, they might refer you for a sleep study. The key is that you don't have to just live with it. There are effective treatments available, but you can't get them without first getting a proper diagnosis. Please don't feel embarrassed to talk to your doctor about this. It's a very common medical issue, and they are there to help you, not to judge. Getting help is a sign of strength. Imagine this. You go through your evening, have a small sip of water, and then climb into bed. You fall into a deep, restful sleep. You don't stir. You don't wake up in a panic, needing the bathroom. The next thing you know, your alarm is gently waking you up. The sun is shining, and you feel fantastic. You feel refreshed, clear-headed, and ready to take on the day with energy. This isn't a fantasy. By understanding the causes of nocturia and taking proactive steps, whether through lifestyle changes or with the help of a doctor, you can make this your reality. You can reclaim your sleep and improve your overall health and well-being. A good night's sleep is one of the pillars of good health, and you deserve it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found these tips helpful. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more content to help you live a healthier, happier life. Sweet dreams.